Are you stuck in that cycle of procrastination? You're running a business, you've got a million projects all at the same time. Then you've got your personal life as well, and then that just competes with it too. Time just seems to melt away, a day passes, all of a sudden a month, and you still haven't got those projects completed or moved. I've discovered something that has changed my life. It's called Para. It's by Tiago Forte. If you haven't heard about this methodology, definitely download Tiago Forte's book. It's on Amazon. Check out the Kindle link. Download the audiobook, because it literally is one of the best listens or reads you'll have this year. What I'll teach you today is how to use and deploy Para onto ClickUp. Create your own workspace that can fundamentally run your life all for free. If you stick to the end of the video, I'll also show you how you can have the same ClickUp template that I'm going to build in front of you all for free as well. Support me, right? Like the video, subscribe, and share it. Right, sharing's caring, and it helps me a lot as well. I'm trying to grow this channel as well. So be part of that 10% of people that just do it. Thanks so much. Let's just dive in, shall we?
First thing we need to do is create your own ClickUp account, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the link in the description and sign up. Once you enter your email address in, enter your details, play with ClickUp. In other words, your account is now created. So we've done this before, so we'll just switch up to our screen. Now the account's up and running. The very first thing we need to do is create a brand new space. So once you click that icon in the middle of the screen, we'll create a space called Para, and we'll just enter a description. So I always like to enter something about what the purpose of the space is for. And you can pick different avatars, if you will, that will appear on the icon. You can even upload your own, click on next, and you can either make this space private or public. So we'll just keep it public so the whole team can see this. Now we need to do these statuses, and these are generally used to help understand what stage a particular task or project is at. So we create one that's ones that are suited to the Para system. So I always like to utilize something that's not started, creating a project goal, whether you're waiting on something or working on something, and you can then customize those colors as well. Once you're satisfied with that, all you need to do now is click on next. This next section is what's called enabling ClickUp apps, and these are essentially views and also other apps that you can utilize. Always on default is list. You've also got board, which is your Kanban style view. You can do other stuff like calendar and map and what have you. For this project, we'll only just utilize those two. Click on review space. Once you're happy with that, click on create space. Next thing we need to do is create the folders associated with the space. So when you go into the sidebar, click on folder, and then we'll just name the first one projects. And once that's done, click the plus sign, create another folder. The next one down is areas. And of course, click that plus on once again. We'll create another folder. We'll call this one resources. And once you do that, the last folder is called archive. You'll also notice on that left side, I did the projects and areas folder in capitals. They're the two main folders you'll be working out of, so it's important to let them stand out a bit more. Another hot tip, whether you're using Google Drive, Dropbox, or what have you, do the same folder structure there as well. Now the next thing we need to do is create a list called Para Inbox. So click that plus sign on the space and create a new list name Para Inbox. Click the button create list, and once that's been created, you want to manage the statuses. We'll go ahead and just click on that not started manage statuses, and from there we'll just change those active statuses. We'll leave the first one as gray. We'll call this one unsorted, and we'll just get rid of that in progress. Now the only other thing we need is a accepted status, so if you accepted a new item, or if you reject it. So we'll create that, and we'll also change the color of that and make that red as well. Now you want to shift that to the done status, and you'll see why in a second. So once that's all done, click on save. Now that's done, let's go ahead and create a sample task. So just type anything in, press enter, and what we need to do is basically create a new custom column. So hit that add column button on the top right, new column, let's create a drop down. From there, we'd like to create the field name as type. We'll do one for project, area, and resource. And let's go ahead and choose the colors. Once you're done, click on add column. So this is primarily used for us to categorize the new items that we have coming into the inbox, which you'll see how it's going to be used later. Now the primary purpose of the Para Inbox is to basically dump in all of your information. Okay, so what that means, any active projects you may have running, any ideas, resources, or what have you, or areas which are your longer term goals. So we'll use this space to do that. So the first thing we'll do, click on add task below the marketing social media calendar. And with that, start to type in the stuff that's just on your mind that you just need to get off your plate. Once you're done with that last item, you click on save. And the next step is to do the automation. So top right corner, click on automations, new automation, and then from there we'll start to enter in the information. Okay, so first thing we'll do is when. So we'll want to say, right, the field type is from any to project, and what we need to do is create that particular task or object as a new list, and we'd like to move that into its corresponding folder, so in this case projects. And then from there you can use the field placeholders, so task ID and as well as date created. Once you're done with that first one, we need to replicate this for all of the other items and associate them automatically with the corresponding inbox. So the area, of course, will be in the areas folder and then do the same actions. And then finally, we'll do the same thing for the resource as well. Once you're all done, click on that create button. And then from there, we can actually close this off. Now we also need to create a trigger. So for example, when you put this status to accepted or rejected, so when you accept that particular item or project, we need to create an automation that will automatically create a list as well. You can do that by creating a new set of rules. On the paid version, you can create an extra step within one automation, but in this version, let's create a whole new set of rules to do that. So what you need to do is do the same thing again. So from any, should I say, to project as an example. And then what we need to do is say, right, we need to basically change the status. You can just type that in to find where that field is. And we need to say, change the status to accepted. Once you do that, click on create. So we'll do that for the other two items, so the area and also resources. And once you're done, click on create. Now let's give this a test run. So close that off. And what we should do is now change the type for each one of these items. Okay, so we're going to define the marketing social media calendar as a project, logo creation. We'll also call that a project as well. Marketing cadence. Let's also make that an area because that is a cadence, something longer term. Business development plan. Yeah, we'll make that maybe a project as well. Staff hiring process. You know what? Let's make that a resource. And the last one, paid advertising, Google pay-per-click. Let's just leave that blank. Now you can see when I did that, it automatically put it to accepted status. And this is your completed status or your done task. Now this by default doesn't come up, so anything done usually doesn't appear. So what you need to do is click on customize and list options, and from there you can say, right, I would like to see all of the closed tasks and closed subtasks. And by default, it will then come up once you save the view as well. Now let's just refresh the screen, and again, I don't have the default view as saved as complete task items. You can see they're gone now out of the inbox, and if you just check the corresponding folders that we allocated each one of those items or tasks, you can see the marketing social media calendar. It's got the date there that we entered as the placeholder, and then if you go into the project folder itself, you can then see everything in one place that are your projects. Now let's just go back into the Para inbox. Now we don't want to do paid advertising Google PPC at the moment. So what we want to do is reject this Para inbox item. The advantage is that it's always there, so you can refer back to it later, and that's another done status. So that way it won't show up once you have your other inbox items come up. What I want to do next is create some items for one of our projects. Now before we do that, it's always good practice to set a goal for each project. So instead of just clicking here to create a task, click on add task or press T on the keyboard, and let's go ahead and change the status to project goal, and let's create what the end of the project looks like. Select a due date, so it could be to say tomorrow, and then once you do that, create your task. Now you can see here, there's your goal up and running. You can see the items at not started. Next step, let's just go ahead and you now create some items to achieve the goal of this project. Here's some examples that I'm just creating for you. Just say, for example, you want to complete some items on the project, manage some statuses. Let's change the due date from tomorrow to today. And what we want to do next is just to manage all of those statuses. So just say that could be we're working on that or waiting on that, and etc. You can then start to manage each one of the items. And let's just say, this one here is done. And once that's all complete, what I want to show you is what happens next after you complete the project. So let's just check the rest of these items off, mark them as complete, and then we get to the final project goal. It's done, it's achieved. Click on complete. Now you can see that there's nothing left in this project. So what to do next? Archiving. So That basically means to simply move the list to the archive folder, click those little 3 dots next to the project icon, click on move list, move to the archive folder, and there it is. It is done. It is wrapped up. It's in the archive now. You'll also see here, it's there. You can see the previous project that you completed, the progress. And this is really important because over time, as you launch new projects, you might want to use the steps created to complete the project area or what have you. Or you might want to reference those old resources that you've archived also. So that basically wraps up the tutorial.